This is episode 2 of Journey to the Derby. If you're new here, it's where I train for a home run competition after getting called out on the internet, and I've only got about a month to prepare, but I'm gonna show you everything that I do to get back into shape and get ready to actually face a former Arizona Diamondback, multiple college hitters, and guys who just like to talk a lot online. Now, I'm not gonna back down from a competition at all, and it gives me a prime opportunity to show you everything that I do so you can follow along and get better yourself. So, as always, we gotta warm up and start with mobility. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm actually kind of sore after yesterday, but this falls right into the SCAR method that we previously talked about. But I always like to start with my lower body first. I don't know why, it's just what I like to do. Now, here's the thing that I know about this competition. I'm really gonna have to dial in and get my bat speed up. Throughout most of my career during BP or even in practice off the machine, I was always a line drive hitter. That's what my approach was during practice, and that's what I focused on to get myself ready for the game. I never really tried hitting home runs in practice. So for today, once I get loosened up, most of the work is gonna be on bat speed and moving as fast as possible. I'm not necessarily worried about like the bat path and direction as much today, but we've definitely got our work cut out for us. If you're ever sore after a leg day, especially in your glutes, give this a try. There's probably different names for it, but I call it the 90-90 pigeon. A pigeon pose is normally where you set your leg up at 90 degrees and lean over it, that way you can stretch your glutes. But now we're gonna add one more movement into it. After leaning over, we're gonna sit back down, go into a 90-90 hip switch, and then do the other side. So now you're doing two movements at once and kind of hitting the entire hip. Now this is where it gets difficult. You want to try to get this leg as far back and as straight behind you, but even I can't do that right now, so it's okay. As baseball players, it's really easy for our shoulders to get kind of sore, but when you're at the field or in a cage, you don't have much equipment to work with. But now all you need is an L screen. Either grab the top and let yourself hang down so it can stretch your lats, or go down to the lower part and try to put your head in between your arms, and you will feel a deep stretch in your scap and lats. Don't look at me like that. You can also just put your arm up at 90 degrees to stretch out the front of your chest, or reach across to really get into the lat and scaps. Make sure you're taking care of your shoulders. Now, one thing to always remember is that you might not feel the best every single day, and that's okay, because I just did mobility, and yeah, my body's loosened up, but I still don't feel 100%. So between hitting and lifting and all just life in general, you're not gonna feel great all the time. So at this point, what do? Well, you got two options. You can either completely take the day off, which yeah, sometimes you probably should, but in reality, you're gonna kind of have to push through it. Now, I don't want you to get close to hurting yourself, but there's not much that we can do after warming up. Now, once again, take care of your body. That's why we do the mobility. But don't use soreness as an excuse to just give up on whatever you're doing that day. And with that being said, it's med ball time. Now, after watching the film from yesterday, I noticed that I'm using a lot of my upper body and not a lot of my legs, which, considering that I wasn't trying that hard, is okay. Now today, I'm actually gonna get into the ground and really focus on using my lower half to drive it this way. That way I can still work on my bats. See, this is what I'm talking about, getting back in shape. I shouldn't be breathing hard after throwing med balls. Always do the other side, no matter how funny you look. Now, med balls are where you can really develop a lot of core strength, but I've got another tool that can really help develop bat speed. It's a light bat. This works kind of the same way as plyo balls do. So if you throw one that's heavier than a baseball, you're gonna develop a lot of strength in your shoulder, arm, all that good stuff. But they also have the really, really light ones to develop arm speed. And that's where this comes into play. Now, you are going to probably look like a fool doing this. That's okay, because we're trying to hit for more power. Now, make sure you are completely warmed up before you do this. My body is good to go and firing on all cylinders. I'm literally gonna take this and swing it as fast as I possibly can. And this is only one exercise, we can do more. And the other cool thing is that because you're trying to move as fast as you can, your body's gonna kind of self-organize it and you don't have to think about mechanics anymore. Now for number 2, I'm going to swing it back and forth as quickly as I possibly can. Now you might be wondering why I need to go back the other way. Well, we're trying to get our core to move as fast as we possibly can. And going off the same point, when you are just going at 100%, your brain's not actually thinking about mechanics. It's just trying to move fast. So your body's gonna move typically in the correct way. And for the last one, it's basically like a run and gun, where you just run up and swing it as fast as you can, but make sure you swing like a hitter. Now here's the plan for the day. I'm gonna get loose off the tee, and then we're gonna go into front toss and then BP, hopefully off the machine. Now this is just something that I do every day. It's a part of my routine, just to make sure that I can get the right feeling. Now I know it sounds counterintuitive to try to stay through the middle of the field when we're training for a home run derby. But the reason is, anytime I try to actively pull the ball, I typically rotate way around, and that will not work. So I know that if I can hit against my front side, all I need to do is just catch it a little bit more out in front, and then I can pull it. Speaking of pulling off the ball. Now here's what I think the unlock's gonna be for me. I can hit a golf ball really, really hard, but for some reason that same amount of rotational speed does not translate over into baseball. Why? I don't know, and that's what we're gonna try to figure out. Now, obviously, I can't actually take a golf swing into a cage, but I know there is a missing link somewhere between that sort of speed and this sort of speed. If you've got any ideas, let me know. I can feel like every now and then, I'll just do this and drops the bat head. There we go. Whew. That's what we like to see. So you remember how I said that I'm like a line drive hitter off the machine and in practice? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, none of those are probably going out, but at the very least, I know that I can still make really solid contact off of the machine. See, that's the one that's gotta go out. There it is. Another line drive. And it's a good thing, but it's just not gonna cut it for what we're going after. Oh, that's close. There we go. Stay on top of everything. Yep. There we go. Do that every time. This is the part that I miss about playing. Like actually feeling good while swinging, but hitting so hard. All in all, that was a pretty decent round. It was better than I was expecting. So in the next video, I'm gonna break down that entire round, show you what I see, what I don't see, what I like, what I don't like, and what we need to get better on. Now, if you made it to the end of this video, I sincerely appreciate you. This is gonna be a long journey, but it's also fun to get back into hitting after like, what is it, 2.5 years off, however long I've stopped playing. So baseball's finally fun again. I appreciate you guys. So go ahead and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video.